The field is coming to get the green flag in the Daytona 500 for a restart on lap 51. Ryan Newman is the race leader. Matt Kenseth is second. Jamie McMurray had trouble on his pit stop. He restarts at the rear of the field. The 20 of Tony Stewart, the 24 of Jeff Gordon. A lot of work on pit road.
Yeah, we just talked about how important these bodies were. They just ruined hundreds of hours of work just in that one corner.
As a matter of fact, the 2448, the decals that go on the side of the car, they painted all those things on rather than have a decal that protruded out into the air. A decal that's a few thousandths of an inch thick.
Stewart restarted 38th. Jeff Gordon restarted 41st. Jamie McMurray, who was the leader coming to pit road, restarted 39th.
Make it happen. Just all you have to do is that one more time.
Jeff Gordon trying to make up ground. Here's the conversation he had with his crew while we were under caution.
I'm going to put blame on both of us on that one. I dove underneath there. I got tight. He didn't want to give it up either.
Matt?
And what Jeff Gordon said, as he's coming off the corner, he couldn't turn the car. He got tight. It went up the hill right in front of Tony Stewart. And as he said, Tony did, and you saw it, made the point, Tony did not want to give up that spot, and they both ran the wall off too.
Alan, you got some more?
I just talked to Steve Letarte, Jeff Gordon's crew chief. The car is towed out. That means the front wheels aren't aligned the way that they want them to. They feel like they're in decent shape as far as the rest of the car, so what they're hoping for is another caution and another opportunity to come down pit road and fix it.
And Alan, Gordon told his crew he's going to try and make that up for them, right?
Yeah, Jeff basically apologized on the team radio, said, I will make this up to you. And they told him basically, you just drive and we'll get the car straight and we'll keep going and, win this race. No sweat on their part. It's still early, right?
Yeah, it really is. They got plenty of time, and if they do catch the cautions right, they can get that car, get the toe fixed. They're going to have to chase the chassis a little bit depending on how the body reacts to the downforce situations, because obviously the body is not perfect.
It is very overcast here at Daytona today. You can tell from our pictures it's difficult to even see the backstretch from our broadcast location. Having trouble with our helicopter as well to keep it up above the minimum ceiling. And Matt, there's even a little mist in the air maybe?
That's what Dale Earnhardt Jr. says. He said, man, it is misting out here. Besides that, they're also battling a breeze kind of in the turn 2 area. Bobby Labonte reported on that as well, playing havoc for some of the drivers off turn 2.
Martin Truex Jr. was the lucky dog under the previous caution. He currently runs in the 38th position. That means he gets one lap back. It is an award to the first car not on the lead lap when the caution comes out because the field is frozen.
Check this outside line. Matt Kenseth, the 17 car, is as strong as anyone we've seen out there today.
Right now, Kurt Busch trying to push Ryan Newman further in front. Jimmy Johnson in the 48.
You know, those guys seem to be content to run in line, but as soon as they got rid of Tony Stewart and Jeff Gordon, everyone wants to lead again.
I think that's when the race might have started, Benny, because two of the favorites are back in the back of the pack, and the 8 really hasn't been as strong as a lot of guys thought.
All these guys started licking their chops all of a sudden because they said, well, we got 2 of the strongest cars have just had trouble. What's Tony saying about the 20 there, AB?
I just talked to Greg Zipadelli, Wally, crew chief for Tony Stewart. He said they got all the right side sheet metal. The steering wheel appears to be straight, but they hadn't gotten the opportunity to check the toe in on the car. They think they're in decent shape, except for the aerodynamics. They did poke a hole in the nose of the machine that they'll have to patch if they get another caution. You know how important those front bumpers are, Wally, for aero and handling purposes.
Yeah, and a driver, once you bump these cars and it knocks the toe off, you can feel that as a driver. You can feel the steering wheel. You've got the steering wheel straight when you're going down the straightaway. Once you run into somebody or somebody runs into you, all of a sudden you're holding the steering wheel at a different angle to keep the car going straight. So you know you've bent something or knocked something out of whack. That can be fixed if you haven't bent it too much during a pit stop under caution and not lose a lap here at Daytona.
Dave, a couple of Penske cars up front.
And Bill, you talked about 2 good cars not being contenders right now. Kurt Busch said this on the radio during the caution. Hey, we've got 2 good guys out. Everyone out here is going to turn into cannibals. Brickhouse, that's his spotter. He said, Brickhouse, we got to be smooth. Watch out for me.
I tell you what, that mist seems to be getting more than missed.
Be quiet.
Oh, sorry.
Did BP say something?
I didn't hear him.
I didn't hear him
Is he
either.
even in the room? Marty?
Well, Matt Kenseth trying to make that outside line work. Kyle Busch pushing him, and you guys mentioned Matt doing awfully well up there as he goes into the lead. His car actually, believe it or not, guys, was loose on that last run. First car I've heard loose on pit road. Half pound out of the right rear tire, 3/4 of a round of wedge in the right rear, and obviously they got it right, didn't they?
Yeah, if you can have the car a little bit loose or just on the other side a little loose and just take a little bit of that out, conditions are perfect for that kind of a setup right now. He's got the 5 car behind him. Got to be careful Kyle doesn't get too close to the bumper of Matt Kenseth in the 17 car in the corners, because if Matt is a little bit loose, that's just going to make the problem 10 times worse in the corners. So it's okay if Kyle goes up and hits him in the bumper on the straightaways, just wants to give him a little room in the corners.
Matt Kenseth out in front in the Daytona 500. Troubles for the 20 of Tony Stewart and the 24 of Jeff Gordon, but a long way to go.
NBC's coverage of the 48th Daytona 500 is brought to you by Budweiser, the official beer of NASCAR. This is Budweiser. This is beer.
You know all that stuff about people being patient and waiting until the end of the race? Forget about it. Kyle Busch in the 5 in the middle.
Mark Martin, the AAA car on the inside. They make contact. Kyle Busch almost goes up into Casey Mears on the outside in that dark car. And meanwhile, they're lined up 3 by 3 behind them.
And it has gotten very racy and a little foggy here at Daytona.
Check out Tony Stewart, the 20 car. He is working his way through the field. Last time by, he was 16th. And folks, when I say aggressive, that's an understatement.
Might be inspired, Alan.
You think?
There he goes.
Yeah, how about 3 wide underneath his Joe Gibbs Racing teammate, Denny Hamlin, in that 11. Tony Stewart hasn't said much on the radio at all since they've gone back to racing. I think his actions on the track speak for themselves. The fact that his car can't be in all that bad a shape, and that he is determined to get back to the front and have a shot to win this race.
Jeff Burton was our pole sitter. Has moved his way forward after dropping back. We'll be working our singular race talk poll here. Which driver will benefit the most from his new team in 2006? Here are the 4 we selected that you can vote on. You can do that by texting the word race to 191 on your singular wireless phone, or go to NASCAR.com and we'll have the results later. Wally is ineligible to vote.
You know, I might have misspoken or spoke a little bit too soon on Tony Stewart's chances of winning the Daytona 500 in that 20 car. Man, coming through that field.
When something like that happens to you, Benny and Wally, you believe you might be at fault. You know you've let a lot of people down, and you're already driving hard, but you find something within you to drive a little harder.
Well, yes, I think that's, you know, in that situation, those guys are probably pretty mad at themselves right now, and obviously, you know, you're still going to drive just as hard as you were before. You're hoping that the car. The biggest thing is making sure that the car is capable of what it was doing before you hit the wall. That's the thing you feel bad about, is you want to make sure that you didn't screw the car up. So right now, Stewart's giving that car everything he can give it. Make sure that next time they come in for pit stop, they don't have to make a big change. And if they do, Tony will tell them.
I think the car is probably it was as fast before as it is now. He's just been much more aggressive with the car than he was before. Alan, what's he said on the radio? What do you think?
Well, first of all, Wally, I don't think it's himself that he's mad at, if you know where I'm going with that. And second of all, this is the part now in this run on this set of tires that they'll start to get concerned about. Any handling deficiencies that your car has are going to show up after 15 laps. That's when the tires start to give up the grip that they've had when they're brand new. So now we're going to see if Tony Stewart's got anything he needs to compensate for on the next pit stop, because now we're beginning to get to that point where they've run 15 laps on this set of tires.
We heard Jeff Gordon say, I'll take 50% of the blame and pass 50% of the blame. What Alan's saying is that Tony wants to pass 100% of the blame to the 24.
Agree. That's what he said.
That's what he said, but like I said, all he had to do was just cut him some slack, and he wouldn't be in this predicament right now.
Which is pretty much what Gordon said on the radio.